At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where Trump announced a ceasefire in all caps, this is Ballot.
Look, I can't even tell what's going on anymore. Let's just hit this. I'm Patrick Gutfield, and this is either the most optimistic 12-hour peace deal in history or the world's first subscription-based ceasefire. President Trump announced Monday evening that Israel and Iran have agreed to a complete and total ceasefire. And yes, he put it in all caps, because apparently international diplomacy now follows Twitter formatting rules. The ceasefire was to start around midnight, and hey, I went to bed, so let me know what happened, which give both countries time to finish their in-progress final missions. That's not a peace treaty, that's a homework deadline. Okay, everyone, you have until midnight to get all your bombing out of your system, then we're calling it quits. Trump says the war will be considered ended after 12 hours, which raises some obvious questions. 12 hours? That's barely long enough to get a good night's sleep, let alone resolve decades of geopolitical tension. Most people take longer lunch breaks than this ceasefire is supposed to last. This whole announcement has the energy of someone trying to pause an argument right before dinner. Look, can we just table the existential military conflict until tomorrow? I've got a thing. The fact that Trump capitalized complete and total and ceasefire and ended makes this read less like a diplomatic breakthrough and more like a really aggressive email from your homeowners association. And what exactly constitutes winding down military operations? Are they going to slowly reduce the intensity of their attacks over the next 6 hours? Okay, we'll go from heavy bombing to medium bombing to just really stern looks. Calling a 12-hour break a permanent ceasefire is like calling a bathroom break the end of a marathon. Sure, you stopped running, but everyone knows you're getting back on the track. The timing is also suspiciously convenient. 6 hours to wrap up current missions, then 12 hours of peace? That's basically giving both sides time to reload and plan their next moves while calling it diplomacy. At this point, international conflict resolution has become the political equivalent of hitting the snooze button. Just give us 12 more hours, then we promise we'll deal with this properly. I'm waiting for the follow-up announcement. The ceasefire has been extended by another 12 hours because both countries need more time to wind down their final missions, which apparently now include ordering more ammunition. This ceasefire follows Iran's decision to launch missiles at a U.S. military base in Qatar, which is kind of like bringing a water gun to a paintball fight. Technically, you're participating, but everyone knows you're not really trying. President Trump called it a very weak response, which honestly sounds like something you'd write in a Yelp review for a disappointing restaurant. 2 stars. The missile attack was underwhelming, the explosions lacked flavor, and the destruction was practically non-existent. Would not recommend for serious acts of war. And here's the kicker. Iran warned us in advance. That's not an attack. That's a strongly worded letter with fireworks. It's the international relations equivalent of telling someone you're going to toilet paper their house and then asking if Tuesday works better for them. Trump posted on Truth Social that Iran has gotten it all out of their system. And yes, he put system in quotes, which makes it sound like Iran just needed to have a good cry and maybe eat some ice cream. There, Iran. Feel better? Good. Now let's all play nice. Qatar managed to intercept all but 1 missile, which sounds impressive until you realize that Iran only sent 19 missiles total. That's not a coordinated military strike. That's barely a decent fireworks show. I've seen more aggressive bottle rocket displays on the 4th of July. Meanwhile, Israel expanded its campaign to target symbolic sites in Iran, which included blowing open a gate at Evin prison. Now, I'm no military strategist, but if your war plan includes dramatically open prison doors, you might be running out of actual military targets. What's next, aggressively rearranging Iran's garden furniture? They also hit the headquarters of the military force that suppressed recent protests, which is oddly specific. That's like going to someone's house during a fight and specifically targeting their least favorite couch. The best part? Iran announced their attack on state television with martial music playing. Nothing says serious military operation like adding a soundtrack. I'm surprised they didn't include slow-motion replays and instant analysis from retired generals. This whole situation has devolved into the world's most dangerous game of I'm not touching you, played between nuclear powers. Iran's essentially saying, we attacked you, but we warned you first and aimed for the empty parking lot. Meanwhile, Israel's response is to symbolically redecorate Tehran's government buildings. So by the time you hear this, we're at war, peace, and probably both and neither. And 5 times at that.
What happens when one of the most powerful men in music is accused of some of the most serious crimes imaginable? Check out the new podcast, Did He Do It? Following the federal sex crimes trial of Sean Diddy Combs, coming to you straight from New York City. Every day I'll take you inside the courtroom where prosecutors say Combs ran a criminal enterprise of sex trafficking, coercion, and abuse, using his fame, fortune, and influence to silence victims and control lives. We'll cover the big stories and the small moments that can shift the verdict. The trial has begun. The questions are piling up, and every day we'll be asking the same thing. Did he do it? Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Florida has officially entered the hold my beer phase of immigration policy by building what they're calling Alligator Alcatraz. And yes, that's the actual nickname they chose. Because when you're designing a detention facility, why not lean into the Bond villain aesthetic? The state is converting an airfield in the Everglades into a migrant detention center, which sounds like someone took the worst possible Airbnb listing and said, perfect, we'll take it. The location comes complete with natural security guards in the form of alligators and pythons, because apparently Florida's Attorney General James Uthmire figured, why hire guards when nature already provides them for free? Uthmire actually said the state won't need to invest much in security because of the dangerous wildlife surrounding the area. That's not a security plan. That's outsourcing your job to reptiles. What's next? Using hurricanes as air conditioning? The Trump administration is thrilled about this, naturally. Trump spent his first term fantasizing about building a moat filled with alligators along the southern border. So this is basically his immigration fever dream come to life. He wanted spikes, razor wire, and black paint to make the border wall more terrifying. So a detention center surrounded by actual predators must feel like Christmas morning to him. The Department of Homeland Security says they want some of these tents operational by July, which means they're planning to stick people in canvas shelters in the Florida swampland during peak summer heat. That's not detention, that's a survival reality show nobody signed up for. Portions of today's program were made with the help of AI.
When the world's most powerful people go to war, we can't look away. Welcome to Feuds, Power, Pride, and Payback, the podcast tracking the explosive conflicts shaping our world right now. Presidential administrations fracturing, tech billionaires threatening government leaders, entertainment titans destroying partnerships with single social media posts. These aren't just headlines. They're windows into how power really works. We deliver daily episodes when news explodes, weekly deep dives for perspective. From Washington power struggles to Silicon Valley vendettas, we decode the psychology behind the drama and reveal why these feuds matter far beyond entertainment. Feuds, Power, Pride, and Payback. Today's conflicts are tomorrow's history. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
My name is Marcus Cole. I coordinated operations you'll never read about. January 2018, Tehran. We stole Iran's nuclear secrets from a warehouse in 6 hours. That heist began 7 years of shadow war that ended with Operation Rising Lion and a new podcast from Calaroga Shark Media. My brother died in 2002. I've been carrying his dog tags and calculating impossible decisions ever since, trading lives like variables in an equation. Every operation saves some people by destroying others. I keep a private file of everyone who died because of missions I planned. Their names, their families, their dreams I helped destroy. This is the story of how we prevented nuclear war and what it cost us to become the monsters who saved the world. Operation Rising Lion, the new podcast from Calaroga Shark Media, available wherever you get your podcasts. You know the silhouette, the squint, the voice that cuts like a blade. Clint Eastwood isn't just a movie star, he's a myth, a mayor, a cultural fault line, and maybe the last great American icon. Eastwood Reloaded tells his story one chapter at a time. The hits, the flops, the chaos between the scenes. Because legends aren't born, they're built. Eastwood Reloaded. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.